breaking new developments and the dangerous fire that ripped through a Fort Myers Beach home, destroying it. We are live with extensive coverage about what we've learned overnight.
Breaking right now, years of fighting ALS. Scientist Stephen Hawking passing away in London this morning. Students not in class to remember and push for reform.
I'm walking out for something that I believe in.
The same day, the alleged gunman goes to court.
Jacket weather again this morning. Temperatures as low as the upper 30s here to the north around Arcadia. I'll show you how much will warm up today, plus some even colder weather on the way tonight.
6:30, a wild scene plays out on Fort Myers Beach overnight. We have some breaking new information about that devastating fire. I'm Clay Miller.
And I'm Rachel Pierce, bringing you that latest information on this devastating fire that destroyed this two-story home on Fort Myers Beach. We took the NBC2 live news tracker out to the 200 block of Del Mar Avenue. That's just a little bit north of Estero Boulevard, again on Fort Myers Beach. What we know is that 3 family members, a mom, dad, and daughter, were taken to the hospital because of this fire. One neighbor tells me it was from smoke inhalation. Sadly, their dog died in the fire. We don't know about any other pets, but we do know that their dog died. We're working to get the conditions of the family members and where they're staying this morning if they did get released from the hospital. But the home is a total loss. Another neighbor that I spoke to said when his power went out at his home, he came outside and it was just smoke everywhere. It was so bad that he had to actually leave the area because the smoke was just devastating. And we've been getting pictures and videos into our newsroom because so many people saw this fire because it was so massive. People could see it from their boats, they could see it by land. And this is actually some drone video that came into our newsroom from a viewer, Oleg Asmavar. And it just shows just how big it is with the flames shooting out of the air. Fire crews out here, they told me that they had to bring in cranes to fight the fire and also to douse the neighboring homes so that they didn't catch on fire as well. So this morning we are waiting for the fire investigators to come out here to figure out what exactly caused this fire and working to learn the conditions of those family members.
It's now 6:33, and today thousands of students from across the United States, many here locally, planning a national walkout to draw attention to the issue of gun violence. Natasha Chen is live for us at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School now, where the survivors from last month's shooting expected to participate. Natasha, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clay. Well, right now we're in front of a growing memorial that's developed in the past month. You can see the angels behind me here and names of the victims on these black posters here. The students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas told me they want to walk out today to honor the fallen friends and protest for gun safety as a way of remembering the people they have now lost. In a few hours, they will be going to their first period classes, and then shortly after, later in the morning, leaving their classrooms.
The blue skies, warm weather, and school building look exactly the same in Parkland, Florida as they did a month ago. But nothing about Marjorie Stoneman Douglas students will ever be the same.
That might be a month ago, but it seems like yesterday to the rest of us.
We thought it was a fire. We were all running to the parking lot that's right next to it. And I was almost to the building when we heard the shots.
Since the shooting, Susana Mata Valdivieso has taken on the first leadership role of her life to organize the local student walkout. It's one of many walkouts happening across the U.S. and around the world at 10 a.m. in each local time zone for 17 minutes in honor of the 17 killed.
It feels so good that so many people are supporting us.
Students told me this is another opportunity to call for change, and that in itself is a way to honor their fallen friends. To the critics who dismissed them for lacking life experience,
we seem to forget that so many of the revolutions and movements that happened in America have started with, not high school students, but college students.
They told me they're inspired by those historical moments, including the civil rights activists' freedom riders. Kai Korber says every last one of his classmates just wanted to be a normal teenager. Now they are injected with a call to activism.
It doesn't just have to stop with us. We're the stepping stone for a much greater purpose.
Broward County Schools sent me a letter from the superintendent yesterday talking about how they will support the First Amendment rights of the students and that principals and staff will supervise the students where they choose to gather outside the classrooms. Clay, back to you.
All right, Natasha Chen reporting to us from the National Walkout there at Parkland, Florida. Natasha, thank you.
We're going to check your forecast now, and another morning back in the 40s. And some of us look at Arcadia down into the upper 30s this morning. 38 degrees. We've got around the upper 40s to middle 40s over parts of Lee County. So the colder spots deeper inland and farther north. And those of us around Estero, down in Naples and Marco Island coming in around the lower 50s this morning. As we look across portions of Lee County, almost all of us in the 40s except down over South Lee County around Bonita Springs and Estero. Lehigh Acres down to 46 degrees, one of the colder spots, at least over Lee County, and then we're coming in around 53 degrees for those of us a little bit closer to the coast. We're going to start with bright sunny skies. We do have some of those high thin clouds out there this morning, so you'll notice a little bit of cloud cover, but overall sunshine is going to prevail, but it's not going to do a whole lot to warm us up as we go through the morning hours. A pretty slow temperature rise for this time of year. By 9 a.m. we're still around the low to mid 50s at 53 degrees, but most of us start to come out of the 40s by then. 12 o'clock, mid 60s. It'll be a very breezy day with low humidity, and we'll end up close to 70 to 72 degrees as we head through the afternoon. With that low humidity and the breeze too, the fire danger a concern again today. We've got a fire alert in place across southwest Florida, which will likely continue through Friday. So here's your daytime highs up around 70, even colder as we go through this evening and tonight. We'll take a closer look at tonight's lows and what to expect for the weekend and your first alert forecast on the 2s.
Well, just into our traffic center, Collier County Sheriff's deputies are reporting a crash at State Road 82 and Corkscrew Road. At this time, no injuries being reported, and we are still seeing green in the area. Just use caution with emergency crews working in that area. That's your NBC2 traffic alert.
6:36. Good morning once again, everyone. I'm Stacey Deffenbaugh here in the Alert Center with some new information about a high school in New Jersey. Look at this tweet, John. Let's show them just crossing the wires here in the Alert Center. Gloucester County schools are closed today because of a threat. The district saying they received a word from the police department of this anonymous potential threat to the high school. They did a sweep of the school overnight. No weapons were found, but because of a lack of specifics of the threat, the district is continuing to investigate. And out of an abundance of caution, they are canceling school today, and they are asking for anyone with information to call the police department. So we're getting word of this high school in New Jersey closing because of a threat today.
Time right now, 6:37. Breaking news this morning. Famed British theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking has died. Hawking overcame a debilitating disease to publish widely popular books, including the best-selling A Brief History of Time. Matthew Chance has this remembrance.
By any measure, Stephen Hawking's life was incredible. Even more so because in the 1960s, he was diagnosed with ALS, or motor neurone disease, and given just a few years to live. This rare form of motor neuron disease left him virtually paralysed, unable to express his profound vision of humanity and science without a voice synthesizer.
At one point, I thought I would see the end of physics as we know it, but now I think the wonder of discovery will continue long after I am gone.
But this was never a man bound by his own physical limitations. He revelled in a zero-gravity flight, freeing him, he said, from the confines of his wheelchair. For more than 3 decades, he was a professor at Cambridge University's Department of Applied Mathematics and Theoretical Physics, specialising in the study of black holes, and revered as a member of the academic elite. But Professor Hawking also did much to popularise science, playing himself in Star Trek,
Processed in the opposite direction,
and The Simpsons. In 2014, his life and romance with wife Jane Wilde was depicted on the big screen in the acclaimed film The Theory of Everything.
So the universe getting smaller and smaller, getting denser and denser, hotter and hotter.
You mean wind back the clock?
Exactly, wind back the clock.
Hawking's most famous work, A Brief History of Time, remains one of the best-selling science books ever written.
Matthew Chance there with that report. An amazing man. Damage done by Hurricane Irma still showing up on the streets this morning. Just had at 6:45. What's being done to repair these signs?
This home on Fort Myers Beach, a total loss. A family sent to the hospital. I just spoke to a neighbor. What he has to say about this fire after the break.